Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to Ask Coach V, episode number 2. So excited to be here with my brilliant, amazing CEO, Coach Ivon Martin. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing well. Hey, everybody. Happy to be here.
So excited to be here. So let's get started. I'm super happy and ready.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you guys know, we wanted to start doing this Ask Coach V series to bring some questions that we run into. Well, mainly me, because I don't want Coach V to know them. Questions that I run into that agents have regarding anything in real estate. And I just want to give them to Coach V and let's get her answers off the top of her head and let's have a conversation about it. So we want to make sure this is always interesting and it's short and it's something you guys can watch and get some real value. So Coach V, you ready for question number 1?
Oh, I'm ready. Exciting.
All right, good. Okay. So the first question I want to ask, and it's one that I think a lot of people can relate to because I have to say I'm in a lot of, real estate, Facebook groups and all these sorts of things. And I see this one come up so many times. And here's what it is. What can an agent say? What can an agent do when they're either new, so they haven't really sold any homes, or maybe they're new in a new market, so they don't really have that established, sell a lot of homes in that market? How can they answer the question when they're talking to someone and that person says, hey, how many homes have you sold in this market? Because I think a lot of people get stuck on that. What do they say when they haven't sold any homes in that market?
Oh, I love the question. So important and relevant, right? Because like you said, even if they're not new, but if you are new in the market, and it's very important because the moment you go, what happened?
You lost.
You lost, right? The competition is too amazing. You can't be winging it and practicing on the client. So let's go ahead. You know what? Why don't we role play? Is that okay?
Sure, we can role play that if you want.
I love it. So I say 1, 2, 3, you tell me, and we go from there.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
1, 2, 3.
You know what, Vanda? That all sounds great, and you seem really nice, like you know your stuff. Now, how many homes have you sold in this market, in this neighborhood?
Yvonne, I love the question. Super important question. And what I hear you saying, really, in reality, is, do you know how to sell real estate? Have you sold a lot of homes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to make sure that I sell homes. I know what to do to get to the highest price and to help you to sell your home and get the best result. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, fantastic. So my team and I, my whole office and I, we sell homes everywhere, Yvonne. We sell homes everywhere. You know the great thing about that?
What do you mean?
Because we are everywhere, not only specific in that neighborhood, we are selling everywhere. We are global experts. So when we sell homes in different areas, we are bringing buyers and activities through all the neighborhood. So when you hire me today to help you to sell your home and get you the best result, I'm going to promote and expose your home to the whole world, to all the agents that I know, to all the buyers that we have, to all the eyeballs online. They're searching for home. Because at the end of the day, this is what you want, right?
Yeah, I want to sell my house.
Yeah, this is what you want. Can you sell my home? Awesome. How fast can you sell it? And how much you're going to get from me? And how are you going to do that? And that's why we need to sit down. I want to show you my amazing marketing machine, my great plan of action, so you know step by step, Yvonne, how I sell homes every day and help wonderful people just like you to get the best results. So I have some time open tomorrow. We can do that. Or we can just start it right here and go with the process. Which one works best for you?
Tomorrow's cool.
Okay, great. So yeah, let's go over everything. I want to show you the whole process and help you to get your home sold and get the whole transition really well. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
Wonderful. So what you like, what you love, what you don't like about this, Coach Ivon?
Well, I think right away it was good because you went right to the root of what I'm asking, which is, are you going to be able to get the job done? Right? Because that's what people are really worried about. At the end of the day, they want to know, you're going to sell my house, you're going to get me the most money in the bank, are you going to help me during the process? And I think that in answering the question the way you did, you really brought it back to that.
Yeah, right. And the other thing is, thank you for noticing that. If they say, well, but how long you been in the business? If they come back to you, how long have you been in the business? Or did we really specific sell homes here? Maybe you are not so certain the way you said it, because I want to make sure that I give you guys this great hack. It's not what you say, is how you say it. You got to say with a lot of certainty, Yvonne. A lot of certainty, coach, because the person with the highest amount of certainty always win. And if you hesitate, and they're going to notice and they're going to go right there. So you got to really go and really say that way. What I hear you saying is, do I sell homes? Do I know how to sell homes? Can I get the job done? And I'll say this, if they say, well, but are you new or have you really sold here? You say, well, and that's another objection, by the way, we can talk more about that later, but it's another objection that you can come back with a very powerful comeback saying that, yeah, you are one of the new kids on the block, but you have all the expertise and knowledge, and you're going to have the amazing marketing machine, and they're going to be the top of the mind. So there's a lot of ways we can go deep here, but usually if you come with a lot of strength, coach, a lot of certainty, yeah, you get most of the listings.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point to make. And I think that's something people, maybe they get so nervous that they're going to get asked this question that they show up timid or expecting the question already. And that's pretty much what makes people wonder, like, oh, I should ask about this person. They maybe don't seem so confident. Yeah. And the confidence is huge, right? It's
huge. And I can tell you this, I have people brand new, like 6 months in the business selling 12 homes, selling. I remember one time I had a client, the first year in the business, as he had a buyer's agent who sold 38 homes the first year in the business. I sold 32. So I say confidence is the key. Is the key, because remember, people don't really buy what you sell. They buy you.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? I mean, they want to know that they can trust you. They want to feel your confidence, feel that you're going to take them through everything and handle everything. So at the end of the day, if you can make them feel good about everything, they don't really care if you've been selling in that neighborhood for 20 years or if you've been selling that neighborhood for 2 years.
Right. And if they say, well, but Mary Jo lives right here and she sells a lot of homes here in the area, she's the expert. Oh my gosh. And then you can have another objection handler to that. We practice this and we have great stuff on our courses, because you got to know how to handle objections, because if you don't remove the fear, are they going to make any decision?
No way.
No way.
Well, talking about fear then, because I think fear is always a good subject because it brings up a lot of questions. It brings up a lot of issues. And the truth is that when people are buying a home, selling a home, there is a lot of fear and uncertainty involved, right? So I think one fear that a lot of sellers are having right now is, okay, great. I can sell my house. I can get top dollar right now. The market's great, but then what? How am I going to find my next house? Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? So I think a lot of agents right now are having problems where they're talking to people that want to sell their house and want to move, but they keep telling them, yeah, but then what happens if I can't find my next house? And so they want to delay and they want to wait. So what can these agents say? What can these agents do to kind of help people move past that fear?
Great question. And it goes in many ways. We can go deep in many ways here, because the reality is, what do they want? What do they really want? Because if the motivation is high enough, coach, they will move. And it's our job to educate and prepare them to see the possibilities. Yeah, if they don't see possibilities, and by the way, so normal. Most people don't really have clarity what they want, why they want it, where they're going to go. But if you take the time and sit down and say, Yvonne, that's such a great question. And this is exactly why we need to get together. Because you are wondering, there's so many things that can happen. Oh my gosh, what if this happened? What if that happened? Oh, there's so many questions, right? I imagine you're like, oh my gosh. Now, what is more important? What you want. Why do you want to move right now? Because if you have enough desire, Yvonne, to move, and I help you to remove the fear, the uncertainties, and help you to feel confident, certain, and even more comfortable that I'll take care of everything and help in the process, Yeah, you move. So we got to go deep here and sit down with them and say, hey, tell me what you want, why you want it. This is plan A. Awesome. What is plan B? And why you moving there? When would you like to be there?
Yeah. And
And
I
what
think
is
that's a
stopping
really
you from
good
making a
point,
decision?
because at the end of the day, we're not trying to convince anyone to move if it's not the right time for them to move, right? If they want to move because, the motivation is high, they want a different lifestyle, they need to be in a certain location for a certain reason, they have to move, they really want to move, but they're just scared, so they're putting it off. That's different from, you want a deal, so you're going to try to tell them they should do it when maybe they shouldn't. So I think that's a really good point, is that there's not going to be that one size fit all answer for this. You got to really get in there and, okay, what's your motivation? What's your timing? And then if you find out the motivation is high and the timing is soon, and they really do want to move or have to move, that's when you got to remove the uncertainty, right? Give them some options. Right. What can we do? Okay, we could try this. Best case scenario, we find your house in the perfect timing. Now, most likely scenario, maybe this happens. Here's what we can do. Worst case scenario. So you got to give them some options, remove that uncertainty.
Exactly. Once you know exactly the motivation, if the motivation is 8 to 10, and they understand that if they wait, they're going to pay more for the same house, or they're going to have to delay the dream or forget the comfort of the lifestyle. Once they understand, yes, I do want this and I want it now, and I don't want to pay more for later. Now you sit down with them and say, okay, let's go over all your options. The best thing to do is to really sell your home without contingencies, so you can be in an Airbnb for a while, or maybe rent a 3 months long, a long-term rental. This way you have more time to search, to find your next home the way you want it. You're not pressured, you're not worried, and you have also more leverage, because now you're going to come with cash, baby. Cash is king, right? In this market. I mean, if you don't have cash, and then people say, well, but I don't want to go on the bidding war. That's exactly. So when you hire someone like me, and then you always use those NLP technique, like future pacing. When the time is right and we write you an offer, or when the time is right and you hire me, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to look for the homes that nobody knows about it. So now we're going to stack the gold. So you got to know exactly what your people want, exactly what they wanted, why you want it, how soon, can they do it now rather than later? And then you got to paint the picture. The buying now is much better than later. Does this make sense, Ivon?
Yeah, and I think that's a really big important one, right? Is paint that picture, because we're talking about fear and we're talking about uncertainty, and when people are right in the middle of the process, they can't even see the options. Sometimes they get so much in their head and they get so worried about what might happen. So even just saying, look, if you stay here and you wait because you're uncertain, or you don't want to be in a bidding war, or you're not sure if you'll find the right house, and then a year later you're going to be paying 10% more for the same house or less, and you're still going to be having to find it, and you're still
exactly.
So you just have to show them that, hey, okay, maybe it really does make sense. And that's the thing that people may be getting their head about, is like, look, you're just painting a picture for them. You're helping them see it so they can come to the decision. You're not trying to push them to do something they don't want.
So true. And Ivon, Coach, what happened is many real estate agents, they don't practice this. Practice repetition are the mother of skills. They don't practice it, so they don't know what to ask. They don't know how to ask. So they're afraid to ask the questions, and they miss all the things between the lines, and all the fears and uncertainty. And the person say, we're just going to wait. And then they don't know how to handle the objection, and they don't know how to point clearly the problem that's going to cause, and so they miss the transaction. It's always a lack of skills, a lack of confidence, and knowing the right strategy. I'm telling you, there is no way you can be an amazing listing agent, even an amazing buyer's agent, without knowing how to handle objection, how to remove fear, because people want to trust you. If they can't trust you, they will not do business with you if they don't like and trust you. And if you will not build trust if you don't have this conversation, those serious, relevant, important conversations. Would you agree?
I agree 100%. And I think that, as we're coming to a close here, those are such great questions. And you really kind of reminded us at the end there that at the end of the day, when you get questions like this, they're just objections, right? It's a doubt in their mind. It's an uncertainty in their mind. It means you're still in the game. You just need to answer that objection, handle that objection, make them feel certain and close to the next step. And then they're going to be ready to go.
It's true. And I'll say this too, because the great Brian Tracy, I love Brian. I read a lot of his books. He lives here close to me, here in San Diego area. And he said, 87% of the real estate agents, actually the salespeople, go in sales without knowing how to sell, definitely without knowing how to close. So what is handling the objection? Is handling the objection, remove the fear, and closing to the next step. So they don't know, therefore they don't handle the objection, therefore they don't close, and they lose a lot of the business. And it's always because they have the ignorance, right? Ignorance breeds fear, uncertainty. So they don't know what to say, and they avoid it. So go learn, go practice, go become the master of objection handler. So you're like, come on, give it to me, I'm ready.
Exactly.
Right?
So
and
I think that's a great, go ahead.
Very quickly, you know what happened when you become the master objection handler and close?
What happens?
The friction goes down, Ivon. Coach, the rejections and the objections comes down because they can smell and can feel your energy of confidence, of certainty, and you have way more conversion. It's amazing.
It's totally different when you're going into that presentation afraid of that question than versus when you're going in and you're saying, I hope they ask me because I have the perfect answer.
Yeah, like I'm ready, I'm prepared. Come on, give it to me. I mean, it's a whole different ball game, baby.
Nice. Well, everyone, we're getting to the end of the video here. So I hope you enjoyed this conversation. And if you take anything from this, it's have confidence, have certainty. And how do you get that? By practicing.
Yeah.
Learn what to say, know what to say, practice your objection handlers, practice answering those questions. Go out there with some confidence, with some swagger, and get a bunch of listings, right?
Yeah. Thank you for that, Coach. That's awesome. Go do your magic. Go share your light. Go really become the best in the world and keep bringing more questions. I can't wait to see you next week, Coach.
Exactly. We'll be here for another episode soon. We're going to have some more cool questions for Coach V. I'll be on the lookout for some interesting ones. Feel free to comment them below.
Yes.
And make sure that you tune in next time.
Tune in and share this with someone and come here because we love helping you guys in many ways. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. And thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Talk to you guys later. Bye.